You're listening to the Daily Sales Tips Podcast, and I'm your host, Scott Ingram. Today, Jack Wilson is back. Jack is an enterprise sales director at Seismic and a coach, mentor, and trainer in the Sales Rebellion. Here he is.
Hey there, Daily Sales Tips community. You might have noticed by the last couple of tips I've had, they've all been focused on productivity, time management, or organization. And this tip is definitely going to continue in that vein. When I hear the word productivity, it brings to mind thoughts of how much could we get out of ourselves per the time we put into it. And I think a lot of what we focus on is the outputs or the results or the quantities. But when I hear productivity, what I really try to focus on is the quality. So how much thoughtfulness and focus am I putting into the specific tasks that are important to me achieving my goals? So today's productivity tip, again, has to do with the calendar. If you didn't hear the last tip on halos, I'm sure Scott will throw something in some show notes so you can go back and find it. But today I want to talk about really getting yourself in the right mindset as it relates to your time and how you feel about it. Sometimes when we look at our calendar, we can get stressed out just by seeing a lot of activity, especially if that activity is booked back to back and really close together and clustered. This effect is something that psychologically has impacted humans for a long time. It's been said that your physical environment can affect how at peace you feel. So if you have a cluttered desk versus a clean desk, you tend to reflect the same emotionally. Well, that same phenomenon, as it applies to your physical environment, applies to your visual environment and as well as your headspace. So if you feel cluttered, if your time feels constricted, that same negative impact will come about. Our calendars happen to be one of those places that we get sort of that visual mental clutter that we can feel. So my tip today is a way for you to reduce that clutter, not by changing the actual time you have or that you have allotted, but just by changing the time as you see it. So today, go into your calendar, whether it's Outlook, Gmail, whatever it is, and you'll probably find that your calendar events or the time slots are broken into half an hour increments, sometimes hour increments. I want you to go in and change that setting to 15-minute increments. And then what I want you to do is to zoom in on the view of your calendar to 110% or greater. The impact that you'll have is you're going to see visually a lot more white space. Now, when you see that white space, it changes the way you feel about the time that you have available, both the free time that you have as well as the time that you perceive between different events. If you do this for a week or so, I think you'll find that you actually start capitalizing on those 15-minute free windows more so than you ever had in the past. And that 15 minutes gives you the same feeling of freedom like a half an hour, even an hour may have felt like before. So give this a try and let me know how it works for you.
The best place to let Jack know how it worked is on LinkedIn. We'll have a link for you to connect with Jack at dailysales.tips/1091. Once you've done that and tweaked your calendar, be sure to come back tomorrow for another great sales tip. Thanks for listening.